My people, no be small wahala na Tinubu dey face for this election o. In short, this election I just dey pray, make people just dey pray for Tinubu. Make na hear wetin this APC chieftain for Kano State talk about APC. He talk say the way e dey go like this, say e no dey see head for APC. Say if dem no go resolve the matter wey dey on ground, wey dem get for north, say dem no dey go anywhere. Make na lis ten to wetin the man dey talk. Although the man talk some many things wey go even vex you, because he come dey talk say, hey, CBN governor do this, CBN governor do that. If you lis ten to this man, you go know say na APC still even dey behind all the rubbish wey CBN governor dey face for this country. What is it if they help me share am abeg?
Tonight, we have the privilege of speaking with a leader of the APC in the National Assembly, and he's a leader of the APC also in Kano State. There are a lot of issues. He's one of those who have voiced out, no matter what the crisis or the situation may be. It was in Daura to meet with the president. He's one of those who think that the CBN governor is not doing the right thing. He's one of those who also think that APC in Kano and in the north will only stand a chance if they unite. And tonight we'll be speaking with the leader of the House, the majority leader in the House, Honorable Al-Hassan Ado Doguwa. He joins me live right here in Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Good evening, Shewuna Kimball. It's like if he communicates to the speaker between now to Tuesday, when we are going to be sitting, that yes, he's now coming to engage with the House committee, then fine, we will give him that leverage. If he doesn't, then obviously we will now lay our interim report before the House, and the speaker will be under obligation, moral obligation, to write, to sign the warrant of arrest to compel the CBN government.
I thought you guys are in recess.
We are not in recess. We decided, the Senate has gone on recess, but we decided not to go on recess because of this critical matter that borders on the lives and livelihood of our people. When people are crying all over, outcries all over, go to the markets. You have foodstuffs, nobody can buy. You have old money, nobody can take. It's like the economy is in shambles now.
The CBN governor has said 1.9 trillion of the notes in circulation had returned to the CBN. So it's just about 900 billion that they are hoping will be mopped up and gotten back to the system. There are those who think and criticize your party that it's just some leaders of your party that are not happy with the decision of the CBN to get the old Naira note. One of the reasons is terror financing that the CBN gave, and that the fact that there are those who are stockpiling this money for ulterior motive. And the opposition is saying the reason why some leaders of your party are not happy with this is because of the issue of vote buying. Is that the reason why your party is jittery about this policy?
No, that cannot necessarily be. That is not necessarily our reason. One, like I said, I'm speaking in double capacity. As a member of the House of Representatives, vis-a-vis to my responsibility or duty as chairman of this committee. If, for instance, what the CBN governor is now saying by way of press releases or statements on the street, because I look at this statement as a street statement. When the institution of the legislature, the parliament, the voice of the people is inviting you legitimately to come and address us, interact with us, provide this explanation to us, and you are shying away from that responsibility. So we will take all those things he's saying as baseless.
So your party is unhappy with what is going on.
That is one
thinking that it will jettison the chances of your party in winning this election.
That is just on one hand. But when I speak about the policy, jettisoning the process of election at large, I'm not talking simply because as an APC member.
Does it also, Honorable, does it validate, therefore, the talks within your party that there is some discordant tune and the fact that the frustration coming out of some of the leaders of your party is such that maybe the president is not 100% with your candidate, and there are those who think that those who ask that the president should campaign, and the president has said he's going to campaign with your candidate in 10 states, but a few states that the president is being obviously absent. Does that validate the fact that maybe your party is not one on the mandate of Bola Tinubu?
I think all these things are mere speculations. The president is an individual. The president has the right to come out to the press and to the public to state his position. Nobody stops him if he has anything against our candidate. But as far as I'm concerned, I will only use what is available to me. For as long as we started the process, right from the day we elected our flag bearer till today, I've never found any reliable statement from Mr. President or his own spokespersons enunciating to the fact that he's against our...
But is it possible that some people within the president or around the president are doing things that are ulterior to the plans and the...
Oh, that could be possible. That could be possible. But for the president as a person, or for the president as the leader of the party, and the head of Nigeria's government today, which is an APC government, one cannot adduce to any fact as to whether he's against the flag bearer or not. For me, I have attended several rallies, several campaign programs with Mr. President, like the one he did in Jos and the other one he did in Yola, Adamawa State, where he has supported the president and asked Nigerians to vote for our party's candidate. So I don't think Mr. President will have anything against the position or against the acceptability or the electability of our presidential candidate.
Is there a worry about the northern vote for your candidate?
Worry for what? We don't have any worry. I have said this time without number that northern Nigeria is a progressive platform in Nigeria's politics, especially when you speak of a state like my own, Kano. It's a very progressive state. We are aggressive in our programs. We are a radical state where we use parameters, practical parameters, to decide our future, to decide our election decisions. We have done that in the past. I have made mention of the case of 1992 when I was first elected to the House of Representatives with Bashir Usman Topa of blessed memory, who contested under the NRC. And Kano people decided, and their decision was on the basis of what was practically
because the reason why I asked that, Honorable, is that there seems to be a consensus of the northern elite to go not with your candidate.
I'm not aware of this consensus. And if we talk of the northern elite, I am only a political elite as far as I'm concerned. I am a political elite because I can be counted as one of the political big names in the northern part of the country. And there was no such...
Are you resolving the issues within your party, though?
We don't have any issue for now. We don't have any issue for now. APC is united. Our presidential flag bearer remains Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who has gone around states in the north where he was widely accepted. You have seen the kind of unprecedented reception he was accorded in Kano. In fact, I want to say that no other state has given such kind of reception than the one we offered him in Kano. So we don't have any issue. APC is now united. You may not perhaps rule out some minor skirmishes here and there that may have to do with local interest at the respective states or at the sub-nationals. But as far as the acceptability and our commitment to elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the platform of our party, that is completely not under any question. No problem.
Now, let's get down to the issues. I was asking you about the internal workings of your party, and you said earlier that everything seems to, except for some elements here and there.
Yes.
But it doesn't look, from the perspective of those of us who are watching from the outside, that is just a few elements. Maybe I should play you what your candidate said in Ogun State, on which there has been reactions. I like us to prepare that. I like to play to the Honorable to listen to what the candidate said in Ogun State, and maybe you might be able to make sense of what it means. Let's listen to what Bola Ahmed Tinubu said in Ogun State.
BBC láfi máa gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ wọn bá ní kò ṣepo àárín lọ́bẹ̀ kò sí ọgbọ́n dàkúdàpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọ́n lè ní kò ṣepo wọ́n ti ń dọ́gbọ́n dá ọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣepo lẹ gbàgbé ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ èmi aṣíwájú mo sọ fún yín ẹ jẹ́ képo àwọn náà mọ̀ mi náà kó sí ẹ kówó pamọ́ ẹ gbé kó pamọ́ ẹ gbé náírà pamọ́ á máa dìbò á máa wọlé á máa dìbò. bẹ̀ àwa la máa wọlé àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ alábùradà yẹn wọ́n máa ṣe kí ni o wọ́n máa lulẹ̀.
Apologies for that. We must have played a version without the translation. There is actually a version we translated, but somehow it's mixed up there because Bola Tinubu spoke in Yoruba language. And let me try as much as possible because I know your Yoruba is as terrible as my Hausa. So, but he's criticized a few things. He criticized, he said there is a hoarding of fuel. He said there is a hoarding of the currency, of the naira, and the bad management of the state of the naira. And he's spoken about the new note also, and questioned why it is happening right now. And the question I like to ask you is, all these policies on all this situation that your candidate Bola Tinubu has highlighted and mentioned are things that are approved, done under President Muhammadu Buhari of the APC. So what does that tell you?
You see, like I said earlier on, Sheun, being a president, for instance, like in the case of Muhammadu Buhari in Nigeria, is one thing on one hand. And when you have a head of an institution coming to brief his boss, like in the case of president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, especially a president who may not have that kind of financial or economic knowledge, a kind of background for him to also be able to differentiate between the chiefs and the rice. He will only act upon submissions and briefing given to him by chief executives of various institutions, like in the case of Central Bank. And I gave you a good example. If Mr. President was actually briefed in the right direction, if he was properly informed of the implications of Naira redesign and the implications of the deadline given by the Central Bank earlier on, Mr. President wouldn't have had any cause now to extend the deadline for 10 days.
Honorable.
So if such things were envisaged...
You're not getting my question.
Okay.
Bola Tinubu criticized some of at least 3 of these situations, and these situations are under the APC government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari. If he is out there on the podium criticizing, and it makes it look like those decisions or policy are meant to sabotage or not to allow him win, and he said even with all of those decisions, he will still win,
inshallah.
So the question is there a kind of a crisis between Bola Tinubu and Muhammadu Buhari? Because what is said is not someone saying it for him. It is him saying it.
Perhaps, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is someone who is operating at a higher pedestal than myself. He may have his sources of information, which of course I may not have access to such. But if I should give my own version of judgment, I can only judge Muhammadu Buhari by what he eventually says verbatim. If anybody acting for or on behalf of Muhammadu Buhari, like in the case of Central Bank Governor, or the case of the NNPC, for instance, about fuel shortage, and most especially the fuel shortage issue now, dealing with the NNPC. NNPC is no longer an institution of government. It's a private institution with the coming up of the PIB now in operation.
Is that an excuse?
That could be a good excuse.
For the scarcity of
fuel? Yes, it's a good excuse.
Under a government that properly instituted government.
Of course.
Because I'm going to ask you,
what I'm going to say in essence.
How do you tell? You are a leader of the APC. You have the issue of the fuel scarcity. You have people queuing up at the ATM trying to get the new notes with the fear that the old notes might be expired in their pockets. You have the situation that the Naira today, if you have any trading or whatever you want to do on the parallel market, it's about 740 Naira to $1. And all of this situation, how do you then tell Nigerians that they should vote for your party?
Oh yes, you see, all these things you are raising, as far as I'm concerned, these are not directly the responsibility of the government itself, because they deal with the financial situation, management of the economy in a free market society. Free market society
under your government.
Oh, of course.
But your government preached to Nigerians asking for their vote that they will make life better for them.
The government will only be expected to maybe create an enabling environment for business to thrive, free, without any let or hindrance. But the results or implications of policies brought about by institutions that are privately running their affairs, like in the case of NNPC, which is a private company now, and in the case of, for instance, the central bank, which to some extent is an independent institution that manages the finances of our state, Nigeria, then certain things could have been undertaken by this institution.
Should we then exonerate the APC government from all of these woes?
Oh, definitely not. You cannot, because these are things that are interwoven.
And that's what I'm saying. What do you then tell the voters? What do you tell them? For example, in your constituency, when you go home, are you still able to tell them to vote your party?
Oh, definitely yes. Because even when you have some issues, even when you have some challenges under the government of the day, you will expect that the incoming president will definitely make some amends to some of these problems.
Is that the reason why? Is that the reason why the campaign slogan of your candidate right now is renewed hope?
Of course.
So renewed hope, could it be that there is a failed hope, and that's why you want to renew it?
It is not as if there was a failed hope per se. I remain a member of this government, and I don't regret being associated with the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. There are so many things that we have achieved, and there are so many things we might have failed in as human beings. Buhari is not a spirit. Is also human. Definitely there could be some issues where he might have failed or did not perform to the expectations.
These failures that you have mentioned, Honorable, do you think that this failure, like the question I asked you, how do you then tell Nigerians to vote for your party with these failures?
Vote for the party, the APC, because someone else is coming in to take charge of the affairs of the country, whom we have hope also that he will build on the foundation earlier laid by President Muhammadu Buhari. Of course, you don't expect the president, like I've always said, to be able to mend fences, destructions made by a 16-year-old misrule by the PDP. Definitely, developments and changes in government will have to be gradual. Buhari has done the much he could do as president of this country over a period of 8 years. Then it is our expectation when the second Buhari comes in, who is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will build on the foundation laid by Muhammadu Buhari, of course with the developments he has laid down, the agricultural policy, the financial system in the society, in the economy, and so many other things, including the security. You cannot tell me that we have not made an inroad in the security infrastructure of the country and the security narratives. It has improved, good or bad, at least we have improved. So our expectation is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming in will build on the foundation laid by the APC government. Where Buhari naturally failed as a human being, we will expect that the new government will develop on that and bring about.
We tell Nigerians that don't worry, just delete the memory of the last 8 years.
We don't ask anyone to delete any memory. Allow the memory to work. It is even with the memory, working with the memory, that we can be able to improve on lapses of the present government. You must have to admit where
that's why you chose the renewed hope slogan.
Renewed hope simply means rejuvenating the policies and programs of the APC governed administration.
Guess what the opposition is saying?
It doesn't matter.
Not only one. Just a moment. Maybe we can glean a few things from what the opposition are saying. Not only the PDP or the Labour Party. A few of them are saying that seems to be some disconnect. That your party your campaign is campaigning against your party as though you are running on another platform.
I don't get what you mean.
So based on the question I asked,
yes,
your party has been in power for over 7 years, and your campaign now for Bola Tinubu is campaigning as though you're campaigning on another platform of the party. That is what the opposition feels.
It's a clear misperception. It's a clear misperception. What we are rather doing, Sheun, is the fact that we own up to what is wrong and admit that we will develop and build on it.
So you're saying that your campaign right now is riding on the achievement of Muhammadu Buhari?
Of course, we are riding on the very good achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari, and we own up to the fact that where Muhammadu Buhari went wrong, then definitely this government will look at that.
So that was the view. So we are going back to the last question I asked you. How do you convince the voters, especially in your constituency, that whatever these mistakes or failure that is, as you have described it, are, they should look away from it?
No, we will convince our people on the strengths of the successes and achievements we have made in the government, and we have a lot of them. And where we admit that, oh, it went wrong this way, then we will admit that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming in will definitely work on that and bring about improvement.
So what is
it is politics, and
so
we're dealing with human beings.
Yeah, I asked you.
And you won't expect anyone to be absolutely perfect. Buhari, like I've said, is not a spirit. He's a human being. He could make mistake. I can make mistake.
How often
Bola Tinubu coming in can also make mistakes.
How often do you go to the street?
But the fact is that it is better when you make mistakes and accept that, oh, I have erred here, and you are willing to change or make amendment than to deny, not to accept that you have made mistakes.
Honorable, how often do you go to the average people, to the street?
I go to the street, especially the streets of my constituency, on almost daily basis. As I'm speaking to you now, I am from Tudunwada local government of my constituency, and I will definitely back to the streets of my local government the next day after tomorrow.
How
I visit my people. I operate like a day student.
How much of the basic price of commodities do you check?
Basic prices of commodities.
Right, price of rice, price of gari, price of beans, price of kerosene, price of basic commodities of an average Nigerian.
You see, basic price, let me just give you this answer. Basic prices of commodities and materials needed by people are not determined by government. They are determined by free market forces.
Are you serious, Honorable?
If you went to school and read economics, you will tell me this answer. Is it for Buhari to decide for the prices of commodities in Dogwa local government?
Is that what you're telling your constituency?
Oh, yes.
That the government is not responsible,
is not responsible
for the issues of inflation?
Absolutely not. Inflation and prices of materials, whether food
and food inflation, that the government is not responsible.
Of course.
So who is responsible then?
The market, the forces of the market.
Who control the market forces?
Demand and supply.
Which is controlled under what? Under what factors?
Which factors? Under
who are those who control the indices, Honorable?
The people. The people, the producers, and the buyers, and the sellers.
Is it true? I mean,
this is rudimentary economics.
Is it not deceitful tonight to the people that you're talking to?
This is rudimentary economics. Market situation is determined by those who sell and who are out to buy. Buhari does not determine who buys and who sells. And prices are fixed under that argument.
There are a lot of people who may disagree with you.
They may disagree with me, but that is naturally what it is.
But I'd like us to anchor on this note, Honorable. I was talking to a member of course, yesterday, Mike Igino was on the program, and he said, look, those bankable votes, the days of bankable votes are gone. And those who said Muhammad Buhari is not going to be on the ballot in 2023, and so a lot of things will change. Does this threaten in any way the chances of your party?
Not at all, for two reasons. One, Muhammad Buhari, of course, will not be on the ballot, but Muhammad Buhari is basically on the platform. He's on the podium with the APC, and he has continuously explained his position about who Nigerians should vote as a party.
He's not been there for the past 4 or so
campaigns. As a candidate.
He's not been there. We've not seen him. We didn't see him in Benue.
But he was in some places.
In Akwa Ibom.
He was in places.
We didn't see him in Ogun State.
He was in places. And what you also should understand, that when you talk of Buhari as a person, somebody who came from Daura, northwestern part of the country, you also have Tinubu on one hand, who has come from the southwestern part of the country, who is equally another Buhari in his own region. It's about popularity. It's about commitment of the people to the policies and programs of an individual. When Buhari was coming and he enjoyed what we call bankable votes from the north, it was because the northern people believed he was able to deliver, and he has all the popularity it takes to deliver. And the same thing we have for Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, that in the southwestern part of this country, every well-reasoning southwesterner will believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu can deliver because he has delivered when he was governor of Lagos State. We believe in his capacity. We believe in his patriotism. We believe in his ability to really
what is happening with the people who are afraid that Katsina is slipping off?
So while
just remember, you are from the northwest. Those who believe that Katsina is slipping off the fingers of your party, Jigawa is slipping off the fingers of your party. In fact, the votes in Kano may not be deliverable to your party, considering the factors that are there, that is going to be balkanized. There is the deputy vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party from Kaduna State. There is Kwankwaso from Kano State. There is the former governor also who have moved to the PDP in Kano State. All of these forces, there are those who believe that Jigawa is off, Sokoto is off your fingers, and these are major vote bank within the northern region of the country, especially in the northwest, which produces the highest volume of votes in Nigeria. And those who think that if Buhari is not on the ballot, those 10 to 12 million votes will be gone.
No. That you see, you
What's
cannot,
your own calculation?
My calculation is that you are basing your calculations on the basis of social media analysis or academic analysis on the screen of the news television. What is actually on ground, pragmatic features on ground, is that northwestern part of the country, especially where I come from, is an APC zone, and it will remain an APC zone indubitably, and it remains within the hope of the APC. When the election comes on the 25th of this month, of the next month, I'm telling you, I want to bet you that Kano will be delivered for APC. Katsina will have no doubt about that, will deliver. The governor that is working there, and the incoming governor, who is a good friend of mine, of course, Governor Rada, he is well accepted in Katsina.
Even with some of your leaders who have decamped.
Oh, decamping, you can't stop people decamping. There are people who decamp with nobody behind them.
Those who say that they are the soul of the APC
you
in the
decamp,
state.
you decamp with an empty shell. It doesn't make any difference.
All right.
I am telling you that we will deliver from the northwestern part of this country, and I believe the northeastern part of the country, which has taken the second position in our arithmetics, will definitely deliver. We have no doubt whatsoever. APC is in the front, and we are going to sweep the board.